Hello and welcome back to the channel. I wanted to use this video to talk about my experience with dividend cats during this market crash and also in previous experiences during the last 3 years that I have been in the stock market. But before I continue, subscribe to the channel down below if you want to see more videos like this, and also comment in the comment section if you have any suggestions on topics that I can cover. This video was motivated by a recent cat in my highest dividend paying stock. It's NRC. It's an MREIT. It's one of those companies that pay very high dividends. I think at the time when I was investing, mostly my yield on cost was around 12%. The stock has dropped in price dramatically in the last few months since the starting of February 19th, and I think the bottom was around middle of March. The company announced that they were cutting their dividend by 90%, which impacted my portfolio very strongly because I was overweight in that company. I had been accumulating shares mostly on that for the past year, and it represented about 30% of my total dividend income. So when they announced the cut, 27% of my dividend income just disappeared. I actually still kept buying shares after they announced the cut because the shares dropped to $3 and my average purchase price is around $14. So I was trying to accumulate. Actually, one of the main reasons why I was still buying is that I was so close to 100 shares and I want to start experimenting with selling options contracts, which is probably a video that I will do later. But you need 100 shares of something if you want to start selling contracts and playing with that. So that was my main motivation, and since the price was already cheap, I could accumulate more. But despite losing 27% of my total income because I was so focused on this company, I used this opportunity, this market crash, to start investing and deploying most of my spare cash that I had at the time into new companies and others that were more secure, such as Procter & Gamble. I invested a little bit more in Abby. I also started a position in 3M, that's where most of my money went to, and IBM. Those are companies that I wanted to explore for a while, but since I didn't have the option to do fractional shares like I do now, I was very limited into the shares that I could buy, always kind of focusing on the cheap shares because that's the money that I could deploy quickly and start compounding my dividends faster. Now that I can buy fractional shares, I can actually take advantage of compounding by investing the dividends that come into more diversified parts of my portfolio. And I have recovered a decent amount of that loss since it happened. I'll also put a link in the description below to open an account with Robinhood if you also want to start investing and you want to do fractional shares and buying and selling stock and getting started in the stock market. And if you open an account with that link, you will get a free share, a random free share of a stock, and I will also get one. So yeah, if you do it, let me know in the comments what you got. So yeah, that was my experience. I learned that I need to focus on companies that are paying reasonable dividends that can be maintained during this time. NRC is basically the only company in my portfolio that got the dividend during this market crash. Well, except maybe GM, but I only had one share and I was planning to get rid of it, so I almost don't even count it, but I also got rid of it. So yeah, try to focus on quality companies. If you're just starting, maybe a good way to get started would be to invest in what is called Dividend Aristocrats. There is even an ETF you can buy, and it already covers many of the Dividend Aristocrats that are out there. Dividend Aristocrats are companies that have been paying dividends increasingly every year for 25 years or more. I'll make a video about it later. So make sure that you're investing in companies that you trust and that have a reputable past in paying dividends, and consider their investors as a primary focus. I know many companies cut their dividends or suspended them for a while. So let me know in the comments if you experienced any dividend cuts and how you handle the situation. In my case, I tried to move my money to new companies that I consider better quality, and that has helped maintaining the stability.